guys, how you going? I thought I'd do a video this morning instead of a live stream. LT Australia said just found part of the annual $40 billion we contribute towards the Indigenous community. This communist left-wing activist has been rotting money from the people he's supposed to represent. He's certainly not a genius, but he's definitely a crook. And Lola Mate said, can this be? Noel Pearson worth in August 2023 sits at $101 million. Noel Pearson, born June 25th, 1965, Cooktown, Australia. Pearson, known for radical left-wing political activist. Noel has never experienced socio-economic problems and never present in his childhood and families. Noel Pearson's net worth in 2023 is $101 million, and in 2022 it was $90.9 million. In 2021 it was $80.8 million. In 2020 it was $70.7 million, and in 2019 it was $60.6 million. That's what I was talking about. The money that is currently supposed to be going towards helping the Indigenous community is going into the pockets of these people. Inner city elites. Died suddenly, said, we will never forget the madness. We will never go back. Okay, let's have a listen to this one. Or a watch. It's got music behind it. I don't know if it's going to get me, but...
Comes from China. That's what comes from China.
Think he's doing?
Okay, this is no joke. This is what people are doing. Fucking Jesus Christ.
Not social distancing.
Put your mask on.
Get away from me.
Put it on.
For freedom. Stop it.
Whoa, whoa.
What is going on inside their head?
So this guy in Michigan came up with this idea.
6 feet apart. Oh yeah.
Extreme measures of self-isolation.
It gets the point across.
So you can wear it comfortably all day. Share your smile. Z-Shield wraps your face.
On prend une bouchée et on remet le masque. On prend une bouchée et on remet le masque.
Help us put the mask in mask off. You must wear your mask.
I shouldn't have to make it fun. It's science. It's science.
No, it wasn't, actually. Did you see the smoke go through the mask? Yeah, if the smoke goes through the mask, the smoke is a lot bigger than a virus. And by the way, if this were real, this is what you'd be wearing. Okay? Just so you know. Okay, and Pelham has asked, honest question, do you support Blade Runner's dismantling the licence recognition cameras that targets the poorest cities of London? Let's have a look.
This is what one man can do to the ULEZ
in less than half a day. Fuck your ULEZ, stick it up your arse, no one wants it, and this is what we'll do every time. I'm calling all people that want to take down these shit cunts. You need is a 10mm socket, yeah, very cheap to buy, to put in your impact drill. They're cheap.
Oh wow. Yes, actually I do. Support, support, support. Well done. Oh God. Libs of TikTok said this looks like an ad for homeschooling. Looking for a queer, non-binary, pink-loving, nerdy elementary teacher? Oh, it's definitely an advertisement for homeschooling. Definitely. Dr. Anastasia Maria Lupus said, yes, okay. Having an electric car running off a generator is like a vegan that secretly eats meat, okay? If you've got an electric car, oh dear, you know what runs your power? Well, solar and wind ain't going to do it. When solar and wind come in, you will not be able to charge your electric cars unless you have a generator. Just me, says 99.9% of Australian politicians and the things they say. I don't run away from press conferences. It's just one page. Labor will give you $275 on your electricity bill. Labor won't make any changes to super. They say words, they form sentences, they talk shit for a living. Let's have a listen.
I don't run away from press.
Oh, had to do that. It doesn't run away. Hang on.
I don't run away from press conferences.
So will you also sign up to a treaty with the WHO on the pandemic management? Can you answer honestly about that? Isn't there a problem with transparency here, Mr. Albanese? Is there a problem with transparency, Mr. Albanese? And you're now just not giving...
conduct press conferences?
You have to answer eventually.
I don't run away from press conferences.
Yes, well, he just did. And there was no $275 off your electricity bill, and it's not just one page, and they will make changes to your super, they already have. Paul Golding said, welcome to Rome, Italy. Import the third world, become the third world. It's not rocket science. Now let's have a look at this. I want to see this. Oh dear. Whoops. Mate, you're showing a bit too much there. He's splashing the police with water. Shit. Oh no. Oh. Sorry, first I was laughing at his dangly bits. Then I was laughing at the police ducking from the water. It's only water. I would have still gone in. Oh no. This is what most of Europe has turned into, though. It's pretty sad to see. Europe's such a lovely place. Every country is unique. Katie said Magda Sabansky. If you don't know who Magda Sabansky is, hang on and I'll show you. Okay, in case you didn't know who Magda Sabansky is, she was in Kath and Kim. It's this lady here. Ooh. This one. Try and tell people to put on a mask. Whoops. That one. Okay. Now, check this out. Magda Sabansky was just on the project speaking about a new ad campaign for The Voice, the one featuring John Farnham's song. She will feature in So Much Hatred Coming from the No Side. Hey Magda, remember this? I don't know if anyone remembers that. It was for a comedy show, but still pretty hypocritical. And now they're using John Farnham's song The Voice. I'd sing it, but I'd probably go out of tune really badly. We'll see later on. Roseanne Barr said that's Bidenomics, Joe Biden. Tim Poole said $110 for this. Holy, you know what? We got like chips and dips and some strawberries and bacon. $110. Welcome to life. unfortunately. I walked out $200 with 4 or 5 bags of groceries the other day, and it was like, oh my, like I was watching the amount climb every time they scanned something else, and it was like, oh my God. Malcolm Roberts said, keep the last 3 years bright in our eyes and minds and learn about the last 79 years since the UN was formed, the last 52 years since the WEF was formed, and the last 110 years since parasitic globalist banks formed the privately owned USA Federal Reserve Bank and control money. Everything faded into mist. The past was erased, the erasure was forgotten, the lie became the truth. George Orwell, 1984. We haven't always lived this way, under this much control. People were freer. Snarkish Jano's got eyes on here. Fletch17 said there'll be a lot of haters on this thread, but calling out Obama Malik as fake. Why did he delete the post saying he will be on Tucker? Tucker never confirmed it. Why does he constantly throw up symbolism and post about his book, the 33 number guy and the Barack Foundation? He started asking for donations for PayPal? Because apparently he did, and I saw it. He wrote he was going to be on Tucker Carlson. I've even got a bookmark somewhere where it's probably gone, you'll see. Rep. Marjorie Taylor Greene said it's time to require Joe Biden to show all communications in his name and aliases, all bank account statements, sources of incomes, visitor log and meeting details from Delaware home, all cell phones and email communications, and a list of prescription medications that mask his mental decline because we're about to vote to open an impeachment inquiry. And this is in response to President Biden, who said it's time to require universal background checks, establish a national red flag law, require safe storage of firearms, and end immunity from liability for gun manufacturers. Congress, it's time to stand up to the gun lobby. Listen here, if you require safe storage of firearms, that means you've got to take the whole thing apart and store bullets in one safe and take apart the gun and store the parts in another safe. If someone breaks into your house, you have to put all that together and get everything out of the safes to protect yourself. It's not going to work. I'm sorry. It won't work. Dr. Anastasia Maria Lupus said, agreed. You will never convince me this is normal. Never. Me either. How about you? Larry Cook said, certain things cause sudden infant death syndrome. SIDS, what else do they cause? I'm not the only one who thinks this way. When did sudden adult death syndrome come out? When they bought the latest ones out? For the coof? Well now, you know, looking back, what do you think causes sudden infant death syndrome? SIDS. I meme, therefore I am, said the Nazi in Florida who supports Biden for his unconditional love for Ukraine and its fighters is actually himself a volunteer Azov Battalion fighter. Remember, members of the Azov Battalion were also used during the Capitol on Jan 6. Not only that, a FBI affidavit asserted that Azov is believed to have participated in training people involved in Charlottesville. The same Azov trained people attacked protesters at Trump rallies. They are paid government operatives used to divide American people. The more divided we stay, the easier it is to control us. Don't fall for it. Wow. And there's Jacob Chainsley. Jacob Chainsley or Ainsley? With that person. On JS6. Why isn't this person being held accountable? Because they're part of it. Awakened Outlaw said Fannie Willis likely committed a crime in pursuit of indicting Trump at all costs, and if you're slow on the uptake, that almost ensures she will lose all of the cases as a result. You may not want to hear that, but that doesn't mean she's not caught in a pickle now. Fulton County District Attorney Fannie Willis filed charges against so-called fake electors over the 2020 election in Georgia, despite near certainly possessing exonerating evidence that their intentions were entirely lawful and in accordance with the United States Constitution. The revelations unearthed in the transcript raise a significant question. If Willis was in possession of the transcript prior to August 14th, why did she charge Schaefer and Smith for allegedly partaking in a conspiracy to overturn Georgia's 2020 selection results when the aforementioned document shows otherwise? Fannie Willis did not respond to repeated requests for comment on when her office possessed the December the 14th, 2020 transcript, prior to announcing Schaefer and Smith's indictments to the public. It is yet another revelation that will fuel valid complaints that Willis filed her charges against Donald Trump and his associates under false pretenses, which is a criminal offence. Fulton County DA charged Trump and associates despite exonerating evidence. There you go. She's in a world of trouble by the look of it. Okay, Stu Peters said Clinton Curtis, a computer program, admits under oath he wrote a program to rig a selection that nobody would have that nobody would have been able to notice. Let's have a little listen to this.
And where do you reside?
Tallahassee, Florida.
And what is your profession?
I'm a computer programmer.
Would you please speak into the microphone so the audience can hear your testimony?
I'm a computer programmer.
Mr. Curtis, are there programs that can be used to secretly fix elections?
Yes.
How do you know that to be the case?
Because in October of 2000, I wrote a prototype for President Congressman Tom Feeney at the company I worked for in Oviedo, Florida, that did just that.
And when you say did just that, it would rig an election?
It would flip the vote 51-49 to whoever you wanted it to go to and whichever race you wanted to win.
And would that program that you designed be something that elections officials that might be on county boards of elections could detect?
They'd never see it.
Mr. Would you answer that question once again?
They would never see it.
And where?
There you go. They would never see it. Mayor Tessa, working for Warrandyte, said John Farnham has not given his 1986 hit The Voice to the Yes campaign. He's given them the rights to use it, which means the Yes campaign have bought the rights with taxpayers' dollars and paid for them an undisclosed amount. This is another example of how the Yes camp keeps spinning the message without the detail. Either way, John Farnham has been paid. Disgusting. Oh, it was a good song too, The Voice. Let me just... I'm going to pause this for a second, then I'm going to read you the lyrics. And I wanted to read these lyrics because they are like... I look at it as the other way round. We have a chance to turn the pages over. We can write what we want to write. We got to make ends meet before we get much older. We're all someone's daughter. We're all someone's son. How long can we look at each other down the barrel of a gun? You're the voice, try and understand it. Make a noise and make it clear. Whoa, whoa. We're not gonna sit in silence. We're not gonna live with fear. Oh, oh. This time we know we all can stand together with the power to be powerful, believing we can make it better. We're all someone's daughter. We're all someone's son. How long can we look at each other down the barrel of a gun? So there you go. You're the voice, try and understand it. Make a noise and make it clear. Oh, now I'm just being stupid. Okay, leading reports said breaking. Lawyer claims Fulton County DA Fannie Willis is guilty of filing a document with false statement in federal court. A felony that, if convicted, could result in up to a 10-year prison sentence. Oh, please do. Someone charge her. Alexandra Marshall said, imagine how stupid you'd have to be in order for a bunch of money-hungry inner-city Indigenous activists to trick you into thinking a race-based bureaucracy promoting spiritual supremacy, national park lockouts, raise taxes on our children, and power over democracy is virtuous. Because it's not. Dr. Russell McGregor said, what are the odds of Joe sending in the army to rescue hippie, histrionic Democrats at Burning Man? Compare and contrast with East Palestine and Maui. East Palestine, Maui. Anyway, this is what I believe the Burning Man is. To me, this thing here has occultic type of stuff. So And I believe mostly only leftists go to that. That's me personally. That's how I see it. So what are the odds of Joe sending in the army to rescue them? Because they're all flooded out at the moment, apparently. Jack Straw said this.
A closed system. We cannot leave the Earth. There's no place to go.
Today I'd like to bring to your attention a potential fraud on an enormous scale happening in your county. There's now clear evidence of NASA using numerous methods to grossly mislead the public about astronauts being on the International Space Station. During interior ISS scenes from NASA's own live feed, the use of wires, harnesses, green screens, and virtual reality have been detected to achieve the appearance of a weightless environment. Examples of this include astronauts fading in and out of the screen, green screen glitches, grabbing objects that aren't really there.
Oh, the sound's gone. Oh, here it comes again.
Pulling on invisible wires.
Did you see that at the back there? There. He's got a wire holding him.
Being tangled in their harnesses.
Now, at first I thought he was grabbing the microphone wire, but he's actually not. He's reaching behind the guy.
And even astronauts appearing out of thin air. This begs the obvious question. If they're really up there, why are they using Hollywood techniques to fake the footage? Now, unfortunately, I can't show you these clips in here today, but I will be sending them to you. Moving on, outside the International Space Station, during spacewalks, air bubbles have been recorded on numerous occasions. How is it possible for air bubbles to be present in the vacuum of space? I once questioned astronaut Scott Kelly about this phenomenon. His body language and answers only created more questions. In 2013, astronaut Luca Parmitano nearly drowned during a spacewalk when his helmet filled with water. This happened again just last year. Air bubbles, helmets filling with water, and drowning. Are they in space or are they underwater? Now, what's really interesting is that they train for spacewalks in an underwater pool with a complete ISS replica. Now, surely they aren't filming these spacewalks in an underwater pool and then editing them to appear if they're in space, because that sure would be something, wouldn't it? I'm calling on the Brevard County Commissioners to open a full investigation into NASA's fraudulent practices and use of taxpayer dollars. It costs NASA $3 billion per year to operate the ISS, and if they don't have a darn good explanation as to why they're faking these videos, I and the public would like a darn good explanation as to where our tax money is going. And if they are indeed faking the funk, it is our duty to expose and eliminate this fraudulent and astronomically wasteful ISS program. And look, I know what you're all thinking. The NASA is part of the federal government, and you're just county commissioners. Even if what I'm saying is true, what can you do? But let me remind you, not only is this happening in your county, as public officials, you have the platform and the ability to make a statement or hold a press conference, alerting the public, state, and federal authorities to investigate further. You have the power to start the conversation. Video evidence of everything I described today will be emailed to you all, and I truly hope we can get to the bottom of this. I look forward to the day that $3 billion annual budget is put towards our veterans, our homeless, maybe some of that mental health stuff the young lady just spoke about, and the revitalization of Brevard County. Thank you for your time today, and I'll be happy to answer any questions you may have.
Thank you, sir.
I think you're better at ping pong than I am.
Sorry, there's a lot of music. What's he doing getting wheeled in there?
Inside the ISS.
Sorry, I did cut some of that off, but I do believe... I'm going to share this one. Colin Rugg said report Fulton County DA Fannie Willis's father, John C. Floyd III, was a high-ranking member of the Black Panthers and dated famous communist revolutionary Angela Davis. Well, that explains a lot. Just how much of an influence is Floyd on his daughter, according to Fannie Willis? She speaks with her father upwards of 10 times a day and his values still guide her. According to the LA Times, 1967, Floyd helped found the Black Panther Party after he became sick of the Democrat Party. In the late 60s, Floyd dated Angela Davis, a communist who was the third woman ever to be on the FBI's most wanted list. There you go. That explains a whole lot. Dr. Anastasia Maria Lupus. Now, this is Eugenia Cooney, okay? She's a famous streamer who is also very, very sick. And this role model is this woman is a role model to millions of kids. Look at this. This is... Hang on. I've got to turn the music down. She is dancing to music. Look at the state of this poor... Seriously. She's influencing a lot of children. Look at the bones sticking out. You know what she's got. We're not allowed to say it on here, apparently, because it gets... I've heard many people try and say it gets blacked out. This girl needs help, and she shouldn't be streaming, but that's just my opinion. Especially influencing a lot of teenage girls, and she's nearly 30. Okay, this person here is at least 29, if not 30. AJ Roberts said the collapse of the beast. I believe all the current buildings suddenly needing upgrades in concrete is because they're all being cleansed because of the previous evil within them. Schools, hospitals, police stations, courthouses, etc. all on ley lines have notoriously, over decades, contained negative energy to harvest. There's multiple reports and even patents for mixing blood with concrete. I feel this is a massive exercise that it's also now being carried out in other countries now to cleanse all their establishments to bring in the bright and new. This lines up with Revelations 13:5. The beast shall exercise its authority for 42 months. 42 months from 11th of March 2020 when the WHO declared COVID a global pandemic, worldwide military operation. 42 months from then is September 11, 2023. When did they say they'll have the places back open for? If CEMEX is in the cement business, why do they have a patent US 4203674A that allows blood to be used in their cement and mortar? Blood? Where is this blood coming from that's being used in the cement? Use of blood in cement, mortar and concrete industry for obtaining lightened material? Who were the owners of the property where this alleged trafficking pedo ring was taking place? CEMEX ties to trafficking. And they declared it on March the 11th, 2020, and 42 months after is September the 11th, 2023. Something's coming. And apparently Russia... it's been reported, right, that a Russian fighting ship has been armed with nukes. Now, these nukes could be used to create a tsunami. Okay, that's all I'm going to say about that. And there was one guy who was trying to tell people that New York might be the one hit. Not sure, okay? Do your own research and make your own mind up. Tom LaCrae said breaking after announcing he was starting a fund from his money with Oprah. Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson is now asking for donations, or they both were, to assist the victims of the Maui fires in Hawaii as he surveys the area. The $5 million that him and Oprah gave was only a start-up fund, which means taxpayers are being asked to help by donating to their fund. The money that Dwayne and Oprah donated actually went to their company. Not $1 has gone to the victims. In theory, what they did would be no different than during a standard company startup. They put funds up to create a system to receive funds. Why do the victims of Maui have to wait on taxpayer dollars when $10 million are in their ledger's balance? Let's have a listen to the trader.
Your plans and all that is being worked on right now. But the number one dire need is money, is cash in hand, in pockets, and in bank accounts. So I've partnered with Oprah, and I've donated $5 million of my own money. She's donating $5 million of hers, and together we have now kicked off a fund starting with $10 million, and the name of the fund is the People's Fund of Maui. The People's Fund of Maui. So to all my Polynesian people, the people of Lahaina, Maui, if you have been impacted and devastated by these wildfires, and thousands and thousands and thousands and thousands of you have, I want you to go to the link in my bio, hit the link, go to People's Fund of Maui, and I want you to sign up so you could receive $1,200 a month for months, just to help you begin to get back on your feet, to give you agency, to give you a little bit of control back.
$1,200 a month. That's $300 a week. Come on, mate. Seriously, there's 10 million sitting there. Just dole it out to the people who need it.
Of your lives that you have lost. If you don't go.
Oh, look, there's sad music in the background. They're trying to be genuine, but it's not coming across that way at all.
Go to the link in my bio. I want you guys to type in peoplesfundofmaui.org. There's a phone number there too as well. Someone will be waiting. You can speak to them. We have people standing by who can help you through the process of filling out the papers, the forms, etc. So again, the whole idea of this, with respect to all the other organizations who have boots on the ground here and all the incredible work that everybody is doing on behalf of the people to help rebuild. The goal here was to meet the number one desire and need, and that is money right now in this moment.
Yeah, that's their biggest desire and need, money.
I want to thank our cultural leaders for your leadership and for your love and for your aloha and for your mana. And to everyone around the world, I thank you so much for the support, the love, the prayers that you...
You know what you can do, don't you, mate? Seriously. Where the sun doesn't shine. Straight Shooter said Farnham, Barnes, okay, John Farnham, Jimmy Barnes, and Kelly, Craig Kelly, must be broke again, yet the yes vote paying of their credit cards, it seems. So, John Farnham, Jimmy Barnes, and Craig Kelly, who was in the... Paul Kelly, sorry. Paul Kelly and the Coloured Girls was a band in the 80s. Seems they're all bit broke and needing money from the government. Great. Petrified COVID parent. I was thinking of taking my family to the air show today, but the government told me it's too hot, so I'm staying at home where it's safe. You got to be kidding me. A heat warning at 22 degrees Celsius. This is what they're doing. They're now putting in here in Australia, in my app, they're putting them in red letters. That's ridiculous. I am yes, you are no, said plane crashes during a gender reveal party. The pilot died. And all that for a child that has a different gender in a few years, or even no gender. Okay, let's have a look. It doesn't look like they even worried about the plane crash, and they were just too busy worrying about the confetti coming out of it and hugging. I don't know. Roll of Boa, Roy, says, excellent. Australians aren't stupid. They're able to see the government paying, bribing suckers to vote yes. Craig Kelly said support for Albanese's divisive The Voice has collapsed. 53% now say no, 38% say yes, and 9% undecided. The more the woke elites try and push down our throats, the faster the yes vote collapses. Australians are awake. A no victory will cause for great celebration across the nation, as it will be a rejection of separation, segregation and division. It will send a message that we're all equal and we want equal opportunity for every Australian, regardless of race. So there you go, it's fallen. Good stuff. Australia, say no. Cyrus B said most ailments are attacks. The human body was designed by the Holy Creator to be self-healing. We have been interfered with from the moment we're born. The jabs, the cleaning products, God knows what's in the soaps and shampoos. I don't know. But we were told that we have been. Cat who knows there's only two genders says, whoops, birds of a feather. Police, Chris Christie, former aide, charged with paying for a sex act with a 6-year-old. Oh my God. Who are they paying? It wasn't Ghislaine and Epstein, was it? Whoever he paid also needs to be held accountable. Who's selling these children? Trapdoge said Burning Man 2023 is now declared a national emergency by the US government. Over 70,000 people are stranded at Black Rock City. Black Rock City. Oh, you're kidding me. In Nevada. Because the rain has made it all swampy, apparently. Well, okay, so this is what it looks like. Muddy and wet. And people wearing plastic on their feet. I don't know, this thing, the Burning Man, it sounds like a sacrifice type of thing to me. What about you? Andrew Turek said, just F off. John Farnham, you're the voice set to be the Yes anthem. I agree with the guy, just F off, seriously. War Nurse said the slow response to the Maui fires from the Biden administration was intentional to shift focus away from Biden's dangerous corruption schemes, insane political decisions, current hearings and investigations, and over to rage over it taking so long for him to visit Hawaii. Valerie and Barry must have insisted that Joe act like he didn't care and hold off visiting Maui for as long as possible to let the anger build. I'm not saying Valerie and Barry had anything to do with the deep state fires. However, it's unlikely they did not know. I believe Valerie and Barry exploited the Maui fires to shift focus away from Joe's corruption, political decisions, hearings and investigations, because all of it ultimately leads directly back to Barry's sulphur-smelling Washington, D.C. basement. Yes, I agree. He's running. He's in the bunker, talking into Biden's ear, telling him what to say. For all Australians, so Paul Kelly writes a song for the Yes campaign while Johnny Farnham allows use dollars of his. Yet a song written and performed by an Aboriginal person and band has not been used. Yothu Yindi's song Treaty is what the referendum is about. Write no, use pen, vote no. Yeah, there was an actual Aboriginal band that sung a song way back in the 90s, maybe? And it's called Treaty, and it's Yothu Yindi, but they used Paul Kelly and John Farnham. Okay, fair enough. Dr. Russell McGregor says General Flynn says some things will come out in the next 2 weeks regarding Hussein and his relationships. I wonder if it'll be this type of Q stuff. Oops. Yeah. I wonder. Snarkish Dano, let's see what he's going to reply to first. Awakened Outlaw said, questions, RE Burning Man. Why wouldn't the same people that shut down planet Earth to fight a virus that they created and released, mind you, be considered capable of targeting the event as a means to create a small army of infected folks that will then return home to share the present with their family and friends? Apparently nothing is beneath them. How hard would it be to erect attractions that all the soon-to-be unwitting virus mules would be sure to visit in that fetid armpit and overflowing sewage-laden post-apocalyptic hellhole? Geez, that was a mouth. Full. Probably worth thinking about at the very least, but Snarkish Dano, because they're saying that now Ebola has started at the Burning Man, right? I don't know. This looks like some sort of weird stuff to me. I don't know. Snarkish Dano said then they really messed up in the timing because ideally symptoms wouldn't show until after they got home. Now most will be quarantined, etc. Awakened Outlaw said, what if White Hats found this out and locked it down to contain it? Would explain planes that were quarantined after having left and landed elsewhere. Who knows? There you go. Andy knows that a school teacher, part of the queer Antifa-linked community in the Portland area, has been accused of being a predator and racist. Trans anarchist Helianthus Bolt, formerly Haley Adelaide Bolt, teaches at Mountain View High School. Oh dear. Evergreen PS. What? Evergreen? In Vancouver, Washington. Bolt uses the alias Solar in the radical community. Be aware of this predator. At least 3 trans femme people in Portland have been sexually abused. Justifies abuse with trans misogyny. Polly uses Tinder, dates people of all most genders, ID as trans mask, but likely lists Tinder as female. Oh dear. This person here, beware. And if that's a teacher at your school, warning to queers and anarchists and how to identify Solar. Solar's complained to friends they will no longer provide an in to anarchist spaces because they were trying to re-enter the scene in Portland after falling out of them in Olympia. This person strongly encourages anarchists to be highly skeptical of Solar and do whatever they think needs to be done to feel safe. They're on Instagram, Facebook. They have many tattoos, but specifically on their right calf shin area, they have a large snake near the ankle, a mosquito-like bug halfway up, a large centipede on the shin and calf, a large flaming butterfly almost at the knee. They have a tattoo that reads sunshine on the inside of one of their hands, I think left hand. It's hard to remember. They went to Evergreen College, grew up in Vancouver, and currently work at Mountain View High School in Vancouver. While living in Olympia, they were part of Olympia Assembly. They are white, TME, non-binary, mid-height, like 5'6", and change their hair colour often, but usually keep their hair buzz cut or in fork's hawk. They also consistently keep their hair in front of their ears long, like a sideburn region, but not sideburn because it's not facial hair. Sideburn bangs, I guess you could call them. They're planning to get gender-affirming top surgery later this summer of 2023. Beware of that person. Myra Flores says RGV Bortak conducting foot patrols near Front and TX found several backpacks containing a fragmentation grenade along with several loaded magazines of different caliber. Under the Biden administration, cartel members' activities have increased significantly along the border. Because this is what you're seeing. Okay. Oh, hang on a sec, guys. I'm going to pause it while I scroll back down. Okay, we're back to where we were. War Nurse said whoever owing allegiance to the United States levies war against them or adheres to their enemies, giving them aid and comfort within the United States or elsewhere, is guilty of treason and shall suffer death. 18 USC 2381 treason, Barry Soetoro. He's been doing all that. He's about to get in big trouble. Tim Poole said she hits him first. He said feminists don't realise that they only have a voice because men let them want to be treated as equals. It won't end well. Okay, ready for this one? It's in Australia, obviously. Hang on, let me just pause, make it bigger, go back and show you what's going on here.
Don't fucking fat shame my friend.
Get the fuck out of here.
Fuck.
Fucking fatty, get the fuck off. Fuck away from me. Fuck off. Fuck off.
They wanted to fight, they wanted to hit, expect to be hit back. Snarkish Dano said so true, and this means literally everything. No belief is exempt, none. Fletch17 said great nuggets from Libertas on TS, True Social. Libertas says, on this journey for the truth, you have to let go of many of your former beliefs. You're forced to question some of the core tenets that made you who you are, the things that shaped your worldview. As these illusions die, it can be as if part of you died. It can be uncomfortable for some, especially when your family and friends are still lost in the illusion that you left. You feel like you don't fit in as you once did. You don't, because you're something new, something revolutionary. Be proud. And you will, it's like the grieving process. When you wake up, it's like grieving for what was, what you thought, you know what I mean? Your whole life, because nothing is as we think it is. Alexandra Marshall said Australians that spend their whole lives working and paying huge taxes are sick and tired of being blamed for problems in remote Indigenous communities. They are not responsible for the choices individuals make to live off public money, drink, fight, commit crimes, abuse women and children, and otherwise fail to improve their lives. Only those individuals can fix their lives. Only they can close the gap. And they are never going to do it while racial bureaucracies exist to fund those lifestyles. Yep. In a way, I agree. It does. Okay, Laura Loomis said Kent Boneface McClellan was arrested by the FBI in Florida. FBI? Oh, God. In Florida for domestic terrorism in May of 2012. The FBI said he and others were preparing a terrorist act against national minorities in Florida. He then fled to Ukraine to join Right Sector, creation of the CIA, in 2014. In 2022, he returned to Ukraine and was reportedly deported. Now he's back in Florida, where he's active in the local Nazi scene. Yesterday, he was on I-4 with a group of Nazis who were saying they support Joe Biden, while they were waving swastika flags and shouting slurs at me because I'm Jewish. There is no way you could get away with all of that after being arrested by the FBI for domestic terrorism, and there's no way you get away with travelling to Ukraine to fight in foreign war as an American citizen, defected mercenary, unless you are some type of FBI or CIA informant. What's he going to say?
Slava Ukraini. Boneface here. I'm not much of a... not really quite used to doing the webcam thing, but you know, it's worth a shot, you know? So, I'd like to apologize ahead of time for any sort of inaccuracies or anything. Slava Ukraini.
Oh dear. Laura Luma was in response to herself. Ukrainian Nazis are recruiting Nazis from Florida to fight in the war. One of them she caught on camera yesterday who was shouting slurs at her. The guy's name is Kent McClellan. He goes by the name Boneface and his entire face is covered with tattoos. He's an American neo-Nazi who fought the Donbass part of the Right Sector movement. Then he joined Ukraine's Nazi as a battalion after Russia launched an attack on Ukraine. According to one report, he received a Ukrainian passport in March of 2022. He has a swastika tattoo on his torso. He's killed civilians. Has several convictions in the United States and heads several neo-Nazi associations. This man now has Ukrainian citizenship. How is this man walking in the streets and who is paying for his travel to Ukraine? A source who reached out to me says they know Boneface and said he's homeless and is often unemployed. How is he affording plane tickets to Ukraine? And who paid him? How is he even able to travel freely between the US and Ukraine? This is insane. He's a US citizen, says he lives in Florida, but also the son of the frontman of a Nazi rock band called Brutal Attack. So there you go. So the FBI are useless if he was on a terror list and now he's flying all over the place. Great. Jack Straw said EBS soon. These were just installed in my area, all part of the alert systems. You won't miss anything. You'll know when it's all going down. Stay frosty, Captain Kyle. Okay. Speakers going out everywhere. You're going to hear it sooner or later. You're going to hear sirens. And it's going to panic most people. Snarkish Dano said, here's what's going on at Burning Man. Watch it. It's a brave world, said no Ebola, no fence. Real-time, boots on the ground dispatch from Burning Man Sunday morning. Used to be able to count on this app to provide real-time info on a crisis. Those days are long gone. Let's listen. Oh, what happened?
Burning Man, here's a little update. There is no Ebola outbreak, and there's no fucking fence being built. You guys are ridiculous, like seriously. Everybody's fine. We have plenty of food. We're going to be turning generators on and off just to conserve some fuel. Extra people helping in the kitchen to get lunch and dinner ready. It was great. There was lots of music. There was bars that were open. Some places like ran out of coffee. Like, who cares? Everybody's fine. Anyway, so I just want you to know, like, in the Burning Man spirit, everybody's making do. We're making the most out of it. We're still having a good time.
Okay, so Whatever the news is reporting might not be true. Awakened Outlaw said, what is the latest news about Burning Man? Not entirely unlike unprecedented events in Maui. This is some weird stuff. And while we're on the topic, how come so much crazy and unprecedented stuff seems to be going down concurrently right now? What the hell's going on? What the hell's really going on? All I know for sure is it sure isn't what mainstream media is telling you. Yep, and Biden's getting investigated. They're thinking of impeaching him, so there could be a cover-up for that. All this like, oh, look over here, not over there. Shadow of Ezra said from the shadow he has maintained the continuity of government for the new Republic of the United States of America. He avoided a civil war in 2020. He's ready to step into the light now. The only card the deep state has left is to try and assassinate him and cause a war, I believe. General Mike Flynn said, of course it's a movement, and it's a positive movement for the good of America. Every single citizen of this beautiful country, Donna, even you, despite what you did sharing questions with your buddy Hillary. And you also know being a Democrat now means bowing to the power and whims of the globalists, a movement that will never take hold in America. Have a nice day, Donna. Donna Brazil is sounding the alarm on ABC News in response to Trump's rising poll numbers. I've never seen anything like this with Donald Trump. This is a movement. She also says that, hang on, let me play it.
Enough to say this. I've seen two movements outside of the social justice movements in my life on the political side. One was the Reagan movement. Reagan had a hold on his base, the country at large. They saw him as someone who was willing to stand up for American values, whatever that might have meant. Now, I thought it was reactionary. The other movement I saw was Barack Obama, hope and change. That galvanized the American people. I've never seen anything like this with Donald Trump. I mean, what doesn't kill you make you stronger? I mean, being convicted, being indicted, that's making him stronger. Raising $10 million using an ugly mugshot to raise money. This is a movement. And anyone who thinks that you can apply the old political rules to trying to defeat this candidate based on he's scary, he's ugly, whatever you might want to call him, this is a movement. And we have to respect the fact that it's a movement. I'll also just old enough to say this.
She did say that the old rules won't work. So just beware. Keep an eye out for new rules. Gunther Eagleman says as Trump pulls away in the polls, the false flags will appear. They fear him. Pay attention. Cynical Publius, I don't know how to say that. To all you Army veterans out there, this feels like a February FTX to me with LSD. Burning Man is turning into the Fire Festival after heavy winds and rain and a bit of flooding. Okay. Three-sided story said Latino-owned business stopped a thief from robbing their store in El Monte, CA today. This is how it's done. I'm not going to play the sound, but yeah, you can see that some guy tried to rob them and they're just not having it. They're not having a bar of it. Yep, and they're even chasing him down the street. Just not having a bar of it. No, mate, don't do that here. Matt Wallace said Klaus Schwab and Bill Gates will spend the rest of their lives in prison, and I can't wait. When? Yeah, everyone's saying, see ya, John. John Farnham's just lost. Yep, just lost me. Still a no from me. He's the one that sings that voice. And funnily enough, you know, you're the voice, try and understand it. Think about it. How long have they been planning this thing for? The Voice? We are voting on The Voice. John Farnham sung a song back in the 80s called The Voice. Okay, anyway. Vigilant Fox said Joe Rogan gives Bill, I can't say his name, Bill Mayer, a lesson on why ivermectin had to be destroyed. In order to utilise the Emergency Authorization Act, they had to have no other remedies, no other effective treatment. They didn't want any sort of way that you could get this without taking their medicine. Now, I'm not going to play this, but because I've got to be careful of what I say here. But apparently, yeah, but he's a never Trumper. He hates Trump. So he may still have something to hide, that guy, I believe. Will Kingston said the new Yes 23 slogan, down the barrel of a gun. There you go. Libs fail. Should the Supreme Court block President Joe Biden from giving Social Security to illegal immigrants? Well, I think that should be happening all over the world. Sorry, but I really do. They should not be getting Social Security. Molly said exclusive. Fannie Willis possesses evidence exonerating Georgia's alternate electors. Of course. Okay, LBRY said Bank of New South Wales, Sydney. Australian flag? Nope. New South Wales flag? Nope. Divisive? Yep. They got the Aboriginal and Pride flag there, and God knows what the other one is. The Bank of Sydney. Yep. Oh, there's a Westpac sign there. I'm going to retweet that, just for anyone who doesn't know. Leading reports said breaking Lionsgate Film Studios dropped its mask mandate amid rising push. Keep pushing back, guys. Keep going. John Q, PH Onsbull detected. Another Aboriginal corporation leeching away at $40 billion a year, talking about how to do nothing while doing nothing. Linda Burney MP isn't doing the job. She has no idea how to. She's a failure. And this is Linda Burney. She's our Gucci Prada politician. Beautiful day in Tassie, meeting with Circular Head Aboriginal Corporation. Oh, corporation, is it? Okay. We see. We've been talking about the voice and its opportunity for local community to have a say, because this is about listening to Indigenous Australians and making better decisions that improve lives. Pardon me, where are all the Indigenous people she was talking to? This is her here, Linda Burney. So it's a corporation, and it's about listening to Indigenous Australians, even though there aren't any here. And she's been talking about the voice and opportunities for local community to have a say. It's a very small portion of the local community. Seriously. Okay. Awakened Outlaw said the left is so certain it got 81 million votes last time around. Why are they trying to keep Trump off the ballot right now? Makes you wonder, right? What's really going on? Because they didn't. Laura Loomis said exposed. Meet Mr. T.J. Turner. He's the auditor for the National Young Republicans, which has been co-opted by Never Trumpers, rhinos and BLM sympathisers. Thomas Turner wants you to believe the recent YR national poll that shows DeSantis beating Trump is legit. But let's take a look at who Thomas is. Thomas and many of the other board members in the National Young Republicans are anti-Trump mouthpieces for the GOP establishment. Thomas Turner, the auditor for the National Young Republicans, has one subscription on Twitter. Guess who? None other than the Republicans against Trump. The National Young Republicans have lost all credibility. They don't represent the voices of the majority of young Republicans across the nation. I hope President Trump disavows them for their anti-Trump deceptive dirty tricks and lack of transparency. There you go. Malcolm Roberts said in at times testy Senate hearings on August the 3rd, Pfizer's regional medical director, Dr. Christian Theroux, and head of regulatory sciences, Dr. Brian Hewitt, were grilled by senators over the rollout of the jabs. One Nation Senator, Malcolm Roberts, asked the pair whether these people here, Pfizer, mandated the vaccine for its employees, because they refused to reveal how many of its Australian employees quit the company rather than take its jab. So there you go. Leading report, breaking. Pfizer only safely tested their boosters on a total of 23 people, according to records obtained by Judicial Watch. Oh dear, that's a bit of a problem. And this was, there you go, he's deleted it. History books, Twitter, Obama Malik Obama. There you go, he's deleted the tweet. The tweet that said he was going to be interviewed by Tucker Carlson. Alexandra Marshall said the desire to silence people you don't like is exactly why the ALP cannot be trusted with censorship. It's such an unbelievably lazy, petulant and childish approach to society. Because this Mark Evans said, oh, for God's sake, we all live in the day when he is silenced. and they're talking about Alan Jones at CPA Australia, CPAC Australia. We have to accept that what Conservatives stand for will lead us to being intimidated, bullied, vilified, condemned and cancelled, but we won't be silenced. As Alan says on The Voice, if you don't know, vote no. Because he's a Conservative, this person here really wants him silenced. And this desire to silence people is unbelievably lazy, petulant and a childish approach to society. It's like sticking your fingers in your ears and going la 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 so you can't hear someone else and their opinion. Dr. Russell McGregor said the problem with being a researcher of this certain thing here, is we know exactly what's going on. We're seeing a massive detailed PSYOP campaign against worldwide liberal minds. Are you enjoying the show? In response to Peacemaker saying conspiracy, according to Turkey, the attack on this thing from Estonia was planned by the British, led by members of the SAS Special Forces Division, with the participation of specialists sent in from main intelligence director of the Ministry of Defence Ukraine, Italian frigate F123 Antonio Marsiglia of the Frem type has left Helsinki. The ship was also allegedly responsible for carrying out the attack in Pskov. Pskov? I don't know. But Russia's now got a nuclear armed one. This is what's being reported, right? Yeah, that can cause tsunamis. Craig Kelly said violence against women and girls is a very serious problem. However, conflating it with climate change makes this video look like some type of parody and dismisses the issue. Climate change is sexist in Australia. You've got to be kidding. Look at the pink hair. Oh my God.
We thank the panellists for their insights. As we confront the climate crisis, women and girls' human rights must be at the centre of our collective efforts. Climate change and its consequences can exacerbate the risk of sexual and gender-based violence. This risk is most acute for women and girls facing multiple and intersecting forms of discrimination and inequality, including Indigenous women and girls. Australia is committed to
What's it got to do with climate change? Please tell anyone. Anyone? Someone? Anyone? Anyone? Bueller?
achieving gender equality and eliminating sexual and gender-based violence, including during emergencies. Australia is providing funding to train disaster responders to identify and support women and girls experiencing family and domestic violence during and after natural disasters. We stand with Pacific.
What about the lockdowns? Did you help the women who were getting beaten at home, who had to stay at home and keep getting beaten at home? I don't know.
Women and girls in responding to the climate crisis, including by providing negotiator training to support women delegates from Pacific Island countries to represent their countries in international climate change meetings.
Look, violence against women has nothing to do with climate change, for goodness sake. Grow a brain. This woman, you can tell by her pink hair. Lauren Fox said, the climate emergency is real. I'm so pleased the giant fossil fuel burning super yacht was available to transport Emma Thompson to habitable climates, to keep spreading her message of saving the planet. The 1 million litres of diesel is worth it. Thank you, Emma. This is how they spread their climate change message. Ships and jets. Yeah, and they want us to stop driving cars. Good one. DC Drano said a Proud Boys leader got 17 years. Oh, yep, I have read that. That was yesterday's one. Yes, okay, so I'm going to leave it there. It's been an hour and 3 minutes. I won't be here tomorrow, but I will be back the next day. I hope you have a good morning, afternoon or evening, wherever you are. Let me know what you think about all this, and I'll talk to you soon. Okay, bye guys.